Welcome back. This is Power Breakfast on Citizen TV. Thank you so much for staying with us. We are moving on into a discussion on youth and leadership. So I hope that you'll be joining us by, tweeting us and using the hashtag Power Breakfast if you have any opinions. We're going to be talking about what it is that is your civic duty as a young person. I have a couple guests joining me in studio, some of them vying for various political seats in the 2017 elections, and also have completed a political leadership program just recently. So I will let everyone introduce themselves. Tell us your name, where you're from.
We'll start with the ladies first. Okay, fine.
You're next to me, so you get to go first.
My name is Daniel Orogo. I am from Kibra. I am vying for the seat of members of County Assembly for Sarangombe Ward. I am an alumni. I'm alumni of Political Leadership and Governance Program. It's a governance program that it's a 6-month course that trains young people like us the importance and the value of leadership. The objective of the program was basically to provide skills that will enable young people to gain knowledge on leadership at different levels of government to participate. So basically, that's who I am.
You just graduated last week?
Yeah, we graduated last Friday, and we are commissioned right now to go and make a phase of change in political leadership and governance architecture in this country.
Okay, we look forward to that. Moving on.
Okay, my name is Nasiba Bagaro from Sololo, Moyale constituency, Marsabit County. I'm a chairperson and also a co-founder of a community-based organization, Bridge, that is Best and Rapid Initiative for Development, Growth and Empowerment. I'm also an alumnus of PLGP program, just like Daniel.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. My name is Rachel Kerubo Tungai. I'm from Kisii County. I am a proud alumni of the just completed PLGP training from Friedrich Ebert Stiftung Foundation. I'm a former student leader from Maseno University. And again, I'm running a community-based organization where I'm trying to fight for the girl child from Kisii County. And above all, I am running for the Kisii County Women Representative position for 2017.
All the best.
Thank you.
I think we have to start this conversation by just acknowledging how young you are. I'm not going to mention anyone's age, but these guys are really young. But it's amazing what you have managed to achieve so far in your communities. So, we're going to talk about youth and leadership, but I just want to talk about your individual stories of because you mentioned being a student leader in Maseno, but
absolutely.
Sort of what's the background and what got you interested in politics in the first place, and at what age?
Well, I forgot to mention that I served as the chairperson of Langata Youth Network for 5 years now. My background is basically on trying to, because the formation of the network was basically to inspire governorship in Kibra after the post-election violence. Then there was the need for young people and me, that I realized that I looked at what happened in Kibera, and I looked at myself and said, fine, as much as I serve the community, then it reaches a point where I have to make a decision to be in politics, because trust me, Joy, there is you can do a lot of things in community, and I've done a lot of things in the community, but it reaches a point where you are incapacitated to make some decisions, and except you make those decisions at a political level. So that is what inspired me, actually. I know it is tough, and I know there are obstacles, but I keep my eye focused because I know I have the capacity to do this. I have the skills. I gained the knowledge before, and I see nobody apart from me who is able to effect this change.
You speak like a politician.
Yeah.
Nasiba, I'm going to move on to you because you've done various community initiatives. But, to join this political leadership program that you were just in and have an interest in politics, what sparked that for you?
Okay, as for me, first of all, I got into class of law, but I didn't continue with it. I did for 1 week, then I moved to political science class. I thought taking political science class will again give me and make me understand more on politics. So I got into political science class. I had interest in politics, but then with time I realized the challenges we face in our community, the challenges of marginalization when it comes to women leadership, when it comes to youth leadership. So I thought I applied for the course because I wanted to get the skills that will at least develop me into my political journey. I got into the class, although I also ran, like I said, I ran a community-based organization, and I believe leadership in the ability to listen to the inner voice, and despite the risk that comes along with it, and even the challenge, despite it challenging the status quo. So I listened to myself, and I wanted to be a leader, and my community, the challenges we face, it's so hard for a young person to be a leader. I come from a community that leadership is endorsed by the Council of Elders. We don't get a chance to get into leadership. I come from a community that it has been manufactured, you know. You don't, they don't really vote you because of your leadership qualities, but for what you have. So I resigned my job, actually. I worked for Kitocha Sheria for 1 week. It really like developed me. I got to work within the slums, and I knew the challenges that we face is not unique. People face challenges, various challenges. So I moved home. I formed a community-based organization so that I can educate, I can mentor the youth, and at least I can, you know, we don't have a fair playground as the young people and also the women. So instead of me like blaming the community for the culture, you know, it's our culture. So instead of blaming the community, I decided to go back home and make my own level. At least I create my level. That is me informing the youth and also the community at large. At least when I want to be a leader, I'm not running for political seat in 2017, probably. I might run for 2022 or years after. But what I first want to do is to inform my people, at least to mentor them, so that when I come out and at least I ask for votes, they can also support me. And at the same time, I would want to like lead a informed society.
Okay, it's very admirable of you. Moving on.
Yes, Joy, my leadership journey began because I feel like there's something wrong. That's all I can say. I feel something is not right, and I feel it has to be corrected. I have been a student leader, Masena University. I served as the finance secretary for 2 years in the university, and for sure that was a good breakthrough for me to realize that I have the passion in me to serve the community. As I said earlier, I started a community-based organization. I come from Kisii County. We have our own cultural dynamics and our own cultural beliefs that ties us so down that at times the woman or the girl child is disadvantaged in some way. Nevertheless, I'm ready to face the challenge. I have a passion in changing how people perceive, how people view politics, and how people think that politics is for the particular group or it's for the particular age. I am very young, as I said earlier, but I don't mind. I'm ready, and I feel this is the time. And some people do politics as a retirement benefit. You know, you worked in a certain parastatal for some years. Now you go back to do politics in the village or wherever as a retirement. But me, I want to pick politics as my career.
Yeah.
I want to do leadership as my career. I want to change what I feel it's wrong. We normally see how it goes at times, and you just look and you say, no, I wish I had the opportunity to change that. And you cannot have this opportunity not unless you run for political position. So that is why we finally forced to get into this. Getting to run for a position, you get capacitated, you get commissioned, you get the power, the authority, probably to change what you feel.
I mean, because there are people who argue that you can make a difference from the outside, you know, because you know things on the inside are so corrupt that it's better if you just influence from the outside. But you feel that, like, at some point you're going to have to get into the game.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Okay, because if you want to do the change, of course I can do the change from outside, but it's very minimal. Remember, we need legislators, we need a member of parliament who are our lawmakers. The change you may be wanting to make, it could be in terms of the law and the principles and the policies we are setting up in our constitution. So it's not really easy for you to articulate for what you want to change from outside compared to if you were in that position.
In the trenches. You're going to say something?
I think like I mentioned that we have many of us who's in the programs have done a lot of community initiatives, and some, you realize that if you evaluate yourself, you have done much more than a politician has done, you know, for the 5 years that he or she has served. And then you wonder then, why can I not be able to effect change? It is so difficult to effect change when you're outside. The political platform of this country has glorified political leadership to a higher level. And so that when you're a business person, so that you are a youth group leader, the politicians always have a say. Because that is a culture as a country, that is where we've elevated them. And so you realize that now, for me to make a decision about change and continue doing what I'm doing, we have no option but to occupy political positions. Realize that we've had, and it's been very fair for us to say this here, we've had a number of young people who've gone for political positions and who represent the face of young people. And apparently, one way or the other, these are the people that we are treated to as youth leaders, you know? And really, you ask yourself, does such a character speak for me? This is what really angers us. And say, okay, fine. Redefining the space of political leadership in this country requires that I, as Daniel Orogo and Kerubo and Nasibo, must compete equally to go and change this culture, bring the new values on this.
So let's talk about that, because Nasibo mentioned it's not an equal playing field, and I think we're fairly aware of that. Sure. But there's a lot of cynicism, even amongst young people. When we posted earlier on Twitter about youth and, you know, being involved in politics, most of the tweets were like, this is not the generation to lead us, they're just interested in posting on Instagram, and, you know, there's no way that young people can, you know, penetrate this African culture that we've had and been led a certain way for so long. So even amongst ourselves, we don't believe in ourselves. So how do we tackle that?
Okay, personally, after the PLGP, I believed in myself. That means mentorship and training can really change someone's perception. And that's why instead of going for a political post right now, it's rather I go back to my community and at least mentor them, because I come from a community, like I said, and a community that is not informed, whereby Jubilee Party they really don't have to like campaign for their votes, because people already know the Kenyatta, you know. We still, yes, I really appreciate the evolution, but when it comes to people of my county and also the youth in my county, we are really not informed. We don't know even the roles of the governor, even for that of the MCA. We are just there to vote and just to give them, you know, an easy way to get into politics. So the best thing to do is, I know people don't believe in youth leadership, but it starts with us. If we believe in ourselves, then the rest will believe in us. So probably I urge all the youth to go back there and do what I'm doing back home. That is, if you start from home, then we can change the whole country. You know, you change your community, and if you change the perception of one part of Kenya and the rest of the youth do the same, then I think we'll get a changed Kenya. Okay. That will also encourage youth leadership.
I really feel sad when people say that the youth don't deserve a leadership. I'm wondering, who will be the next? Who is the next generation? Who will be in leadership come 2030, 2050? I mean, it's us. We must take it up. We must embrace and start it right away. And therefore, it's good. I could wish the society could have a change of mindset. That for sure we have a future. We will not continue having the current leaders whom they believe, the older. I mean, it's a generation. Life is a cycle. We are moving. Someday I'll be the old person. Whoever is in position today was the former young person. And if we are really blocking out young people from leadership, surely, what is our generation? Who is our leader for tomorrow? Because nobody is permanent here. In the future, we need new leaders. And the new leaders have to be molded as from today. And we have to take it. I like the way some scholar says, don't believe a youth cannot make a leader. And if you think you're so small as a leader, if someone's out there is thinking I'm so small as a leader, I'm so young and small to make a leader, it means that person has not been in a room for the whole night with a mosquito. Then you will realize for sure, small doesn't matter. The smallness of something does not matter.
The difference that one can
let
make
me say this. Let me say, I have had that narrative for a long time. and I normally say that we are almost 50 years after independence.
Yes.
And we've had people taking leadership positions.
Yes.
We will tell them that thank you, you've led this country, but we don't have a solution. We will post on Instagram, we will party, we will do all these sorts of stuff, but the creativity of leadership is embedded on the young people. That does not mean that the old age has nothing to do. We will now tell them, sit back and start mentoring us.
Exactly.
Give us the opportunity, because you've been here after.
Do you think they'll sit back?
Because
Eventually.
let me tell you,
Eventually.
what platforms have we been having? And we are so good in creativity. We are so good. The change that we saw, the revolutions that we've seen, has been inspired by young people in other spaces that we feel comfortable that we can communicate on. So again, youngness, our youngness is an innovation, is a potential. Let them allow us now to take change and effect change.
Yeah.
There is no other way.
And I mean, this is a very, creative generation, a generation that understands technology, is able to use it for good, as you are saying. But just let's talk about, even if you're not a leader, just a young person watching this, in terms of their civic duty, what is the civic duty of a young person today, just their involvement on the political scene, even if they're not interested in vying for a seat or becoming a youth leader, just how do we increase that interest in what is happening around us?
Well, it's just and I hear you. I understand what you're saying, because you can read the reports and young people are saying that we have no reason at all to vote. You know?
Yeah.
We understand, because what kind of leaders have we been voting on for years? You can see exactly. And when they say that, we understand. But again, the most dangerous person in this world is a person who don't care. Do you know? Is a person who think that if I don't vote, if I don't question, but it's up to them. And I'm telling you, those are the people that are costing us. I'd just like to inspire these young people. It doesn't take you anything to walk. The office of the members of County Assembly has been placed so close to us that we can just knock and find out what is going on. They're so close. I am just encouraging them that the change that we are just about to see is a change that must be led by young people, and is not. When I am going for a leadership position, I bank on you to vote for me as a young person. And it means that throughout this journey, we have been speaking to you. The challenges that I've been going through are the challenges that you're probably going through. And for me to speak about you and speak for you, vote for me as a young person. So you have a reason to vote. You have a reason to actually go register. You have a reason to post about me on Facebook. You have a reason to do emojis about me, because I am speaking for you and I will speak for you. Yeah.
To add on that,
okay,
the most suffering person right now, Joy, is a youth person. Youths are jobless. We are at the grassroots. We get to intermingle and we get to reach people on a one-on-one basis. These people are very jobless, and everybody is crying every day. There's no job created. Our people are graduating. Every week you hear this and this university. I'm even sure tomorrow there's a university that people are going to graduate. Where are these guys going? There's no jobs for youth. And we will always keep on lamenting and complaining, oh, there's no job, our government has not created any job employment. Actually, today, if a youth got a job today, I was sharing with someone yesterday, if a person has gotten a job today, it's because somebody has lost it. Okay? Yeah. Or if you are a parent at home, Dan, and you have two sons, one son will get a job today, tomorrow the other son will lose. There is no new job coming up. It's just what has been there is what, and our youths are keeping on graduating. We are teaching our people are getting education, but we cannot implement it. We keep on crying as youth, oh, there are no jobs, oh, there are no jobs. How do we change the narrative? Yeah. I mean, if we don't pick it up as me, who is feeling the pain of being jobless, for example, and change what I feel should happen, how do we change it in 2030? How do we make sure that people who will be in 2032 or 20 that year will not cry the same way the current generation is crying that for sure there are no jobs,
That's reason enough for them to care, for them to become involved.
Accept and get involved, and let's all appreciate this and accept and move together. Because if we don't change, we still expect the same trend.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, to echo the words, Joy, when you look at campaign periods, who are used most by politicians? They're the youth.
Yes.
This means youth can influence change. So this we are about 70 to 75% of the population.
Yeah.
That means if we come out in numbers and vote the young people with good, with good ideas of change, with development, and also the youth who will implement wisely the policies. So I think the youths really have a responsibility to vote.
Yeah.
And a responsibility to vote not just any leader, but a responsibility not to be bribed, but a responsibility to vote at least a good leader with leadership qualities.
Well, that goes into my next question. I just want to get your opinions on the current climate in Kenya right now, the corruption scandals we've been seeing, the NYS saga play out, and there's a lot of outrage.
Sure.
So we're good at that. There's a lot of outrage. But what would you say differentiates what you stand for from what is there currently? And how do we know that you won't get into leadership and follow along the same footsteps that have been followed all along?
Yeah, I think it's a very tricky question. It's a very hard, but this is my take. When we or I go to leadership, I am a carrier of values in me. I carry within me, and this is what political leadership and governance program has been teaching us, and we've been taught on how to maintain your values. What is so important to me? Issues about openness, issues about transparency, issues about the values of this country, participation. If I am able to package that and carry that with me, and I think I am not able to be swayed aside by the system. And I'll tell you why. It's simply because for all this time, young people have been doing things, and they have been away from participating and being involved in these corruption scandals. There is a very corrupt big hand of the system that grabs and says, now you have to be part of it. But I understand that if I go into leadership with values, that cannot be. But anyway, Joy, how many of politicians have been there and have not been scandalous?
Sure.
There are some of them that have not been.
Yeah.
What is so different about them? And I agree with you that there are people that we've been trust in this country. They were very good in civil society. They were very good in activism. But once they plunged themselves into the system, they were the leading guys in the bus of corruption. And it's so difficult. But then it is not just stopping at being angry. It is stopping at the final thing of making sure that the money is stolen. The other thing that we should also know, monies that have been quoted that have been stolen is actually somebody literally destroying the future of Kenyans.
Sure.
If medical bills people are not able to pay, where are we feeling this? We are feeling it in Garissa, we are feeling it in Kisumu, in Homa Bay. And you know, that is why again we say that why do young people need to get involved? It's simply because if you say those are big money that are being stolen somewhere, my friend, you don't know that the bed that you're lying on, sometimes when you go to the hospital you cannot be able to pay for that bill. So there's a reason, actually. There is a reason to get involved, because it all comes back to you as a person.
Yeah. Nasibo, what do you think makes a trustworthy young politician who is going to get in there, change the system, decrease the corruption that we're seeing all around us?
Okay, first I believe in leadership that is trustworthy and leadership that is not corrupt. That means it all starts with the values you have. And also it starts with why you want to get into politics. Why do you want to get into politics? Is it for the same reason? Is it to grab wealth or to acquire wealth, or is it because I want to change my community? So it's all about personal values, and personally I live to my values, and getting into politics will not change my values, because I know why I get into politics. I know why I want to take up that leadership position, because it's already corrupt, it's already, as in, the leadership is just bad. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Rachel?
For me, we need to train our youth. People don't trust in youth. But for sure, we appreciate so many programs coming up to equip a youth to mold this person and ensure that he absorbs and he accepts that a leader should be this and not this. The program we've been undergoing since July this year, it has really made me view life and politics and leadership in a very different way from what I used to perceive it before I was trained. Until you are, Joy, I wish sometime you could apply for the same program. You should. Actually, you get to, sure. We should invite Joy to do the same in 2017 intake. Joy, you get to understand for sure being a leader is what it means and how should you do it. And through that training, you're able to develop those personal values in you. And you say, someday, I want to do this and this. When I become a leader, this is what I will advocate for. This is what I will articulate for. So people who fear that young people, they have no values. I mean, we could let people go through training. You know, once someone goes through the training, you get to get the ideas and you're open-minded and you're able to view it like, okay, so this is what it was. And again, about corruption, it's really ruining our community. I'll always cry for the youth, actually, youth and the women. People are jobless. Women are dying in hospitals because they cannot afford that few cents to get the hospital bill cleared or something like that. Simply because somebody somewhere is pocketing billions of money until someone cannot be able to carry the money. You know, I was trying to figure it out. You're carrying the money.
Those amounts of cash.
How do you're carrying money in a bag, you know. And for sure, do you really have heart? Do you have a heart? That is in you men, because that money you're taking, somebody has lost life somewhere in Kenyatta hospital just because you took away the money that was meant to bring the hospital medical facilities for this person. And therefore, once you're trained as a youth, don't wake up from somewhere and you say, I want to be a leader. At least understand yourself. Why do I want to be a leader? What do I want to do? When? How? Have that personal awareness analysis. If you do that, Joy, if you do that, then you'll be able to understand issues like tribalism, corruption, nepotism, all those bad virtues in the society. You'll be able to understand that for sure they do not have space in a leader.
All right. So definitely a lot of enthusiasm and open-mindedness and passion coming from all of you three. I appreciate that. I think we have to take a break and toss it